Now it is. Okay.
All right, welcome families. Welcome to the Memorial Early Childhood Center. Tonight, our main goals are to introduce you to some important people from our community and school, share with you what a typical day in kindergarten looks like, tell you about some of our programs and our instructional materials, discuss our arrival and dismissal procedures, upcoming events that we will be having, and most importantly, to answer any questions that you have. So welcome to MECC. My name is Tracy Lord. I'm the interim principal here. And prior to this year, I taught kindergarten here for 16 years. So MECC feels like a home to me. We have Mrs. Kara Drugan, who is our school psychologist. Mrs. Melissa Deutschman is our special ed coordinator. And Mrs. Kaylee Goodell is our family outreach counselor. So our kindergarten team consists of 11 kindergarten classrooms with a full-time paraprofessional in each classroom. We refer to those as ESPs, or Educational Support Personnel. We have 3 special education teachers, speech, OT, occupational therapy, PT, physical therapy, and APE services. We do have Title I reading support, and we are very fortunate to have an instructional coach for teacher support. So here are our kindergarten teachers, several of whom are here tonight. We have Mrs. Julie Bradley. That's Mrs. Bridget Clements, Mrs. Pat Condry, Miss Chrissy Ferrelli, Mrs. Fostello is here. She greeted you at the door. Mrs. Diana Lawson, there's Mrs. Kelly O'Halloran, Miss Carly Palin. We have Mrs. Q, Miss Kate Quattrucci, Miss Setcher, and Miss Stoker, who is also here tonight.
What a good-looking one.
This is our kindergarten special education team. In our top row here, we have Miss Kathy Gillespie, Miss Henry, and Miss Gaudette. And then at the bottom, we have our instructional coach, our speech therapist, and our interventionist. So Miss Shannon Kearney, Miss Jen Santos, and Mrs. Elizabeth Gunnison, who is also here tonight. So we have a little video for you. This is like a day in the life in kindergarten, so please enjoy.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Memorial Early Childhood Center. My name is Tracy Lord and I am the interim principal here at MECC. The MECC staff look forward to working with you and your child throughout your journey at MECC. We are a preschool and kindergarten school and we look forward to welcoming you to our community. Welcome to MECC. We understand the host of emotions you are probably experiencing and completely understand this. We know how important our job is in caring for and educating your child, and we take this responsibility very seriously. I want you to know that MECC is a very special place. Here is what an average day at the MECC looks like. We will have an orientation the day before the first day of kindergarten, where you will be able to meet your student's teacher and see their classroom. It is also important that you have your student fully registered as soon as possible and they participate in a screening so that we can get to know them a bit and they can get to meet one of our kindergarten teachers. These screenings will be scheduled for the week of June 2nd to the 6th. The MECC school day starts promptly at 8:30. If you choose to drop your child off each morning, you'll enter the school's second driveway and drive around the back, staying on the right side near the playground. Vehicles will be directed forward by staff members, and your child will exit the passenger side door onto the sidewalk for safety. It is helpful to have your student exit the right side of the vehicle and directly onto the sidewalk. Once your child exits the vehicle, you will pull forward to turn around in a designated area. Students will be greeted by staff members to ensure a safe arrival, and we have staff visible in the hallways during arrival time. Buses arrive between 8:35 and 8:50 a.m. each morning. Buses enter the front of the building. When students exit the bus, they are greeted by MECC staff members who direct them into the building to either go to the cafeteria for breakfast or straight to their classrooms to get ready for their school day. Once in the building, students begin their morning routine of taking off their coats, hanging them up, and unpacking their backpacks. Oftentimes, students are asked to take out their snack and pass in their folders. Teachers go through the folders to check for any notes from home. Classroom teachers spend the first 6 to 8 weeks teaching students all the routines in their day. This is essential to building your child's independence and confidence as they learn the expectations for their classroom and our school. Our goal in all areas of school is to develop their skills as independent learners. Kindergarten classrooms are carefully structured to meet the needs of all learners. Teachers explain a new skill or concept through the gradual release model of instruction. This is the I do, we do, you do model, where the teacher engages students' background knowledge and instructs them on the new content. The teacher models the content, then works with the students to practice and eventually apply the skills independently. In addition to students working alongside their teacher, they explore materials on their own and with classmates as they develop independence. Typical daily instruction includes whole group, small group, and independent activities. Establishing routines and rituals in the classroom let the children know what to expect each day and helps guide them toward becoming engaged and independent learners. Kindergarten students usually participate in center-based learning activities on a regular basis. Each center has a different educational focus that inspires hands-on learning in an organized way. In addition to a short snack time in the classroom, kindergarten students also eat lunch each day. Students sit at tables with their classmates during the 30-minute lunchtime. Students have the option of purchasing lunch and milk at school or bringing a packed lunch from home. In addition, students have a 25-minute recess. MECC staff supervise students while they are eating lunch and playing at recess. Each day, your kindergartner will engage in a special subject class such as art, physical education, music, computers, and library. These experiences provide students with the opportunity to explore our Unified Arts program. Starting kindergarten is an exciting time for everyone, and it happens during a time of critical social and emotional growth. Young children are entering a new environment with new rules, expectations, teachers, and classmates. The teachers work hard to make sure that children feel safe and secure regardless of their prior school experience. Utilizing proactive strategies such as our Word of the Month program, Positive Behavioral Interventions and Supports, or PBIS, our kindergarten students learn how to maintain positive relationships, manage their feelings, and learn to be kind to others. Dismissal is one of the most important routines of the day, as we want to ensure every child makes it home safely. Our dismissal process is very orderly. Each student is given a bus tag prior to the first day of school. This bus tag needs to be secured to the child's backpack and remain there all year long. While we dismiss students to the proper location, teachers are checking bus tags to ensure students get to the correct bus or to parent pickup. Students are walked out to our transfer buses, where they head to the Birkeland or the Mary Kay Good School to get on the bus that will take them home. This sounds like a complicated process, but I want to assure you that students are supervised by staff at all times, and they learn this routine quickly. Students being picked up are dismissed to the designated adult identified on the parent pickup form. Parent pickup students are released at the back of the building near the tennis courts. To ensure the safety of every child being picked up, it is required that your name is listed on the school registration or parent pickup form and that you have a photo ID. We will not release your child to you unless you have proper identification. If a parent or guardian is running late, please call the school and your child will be held in the main office until you arrive. We are very excited to have your child experience the learning and growing that takes place here at MECC. We look forward to getting to know you and your child for the upcoming school year. We welcome you to our great school community where students will learn to be safe, be kind, and be ready.
So this is Mrs. Katie Goodine. She is our central registrar. If you are here tonight, it's because you have already registered and done your part. That's why you received the email. This night and this slideshow is going to be posted on our website, so some families will be seeing this for the first time. So this Dropbox that she has, any updated physicals your students may have over the summer, you can drop them off either in person or on her lockbox that's on the side of the building. And anything throughout the summer will only be accepted at 6 School Street. Okay, so again, this is just recapping some of the things that you have already done. This is our website where you registered. This is the email for Katie Goodine, and the screenings that we announced in the video will take place the week of June 2nd to the 6th. Any families who register after June 9th will be contacted to set up a screening time because they will have missed our first screening window. So online is where you complete everything. The program that we use is Aspen. Those are all the required documents that we need. And lastly is the kindergarten screening once the full registration is done. And I would like to welcome Mrs. Kelly Weymouth, who is our wonderful MECC nurse.
Hi everyone. I've been in district for 3 years. This is my first year as the nurse at MECC, and it's been a great one. Just a couple things that are important when your child starts kindergarten or prior to is I will need their 5-year physical, which includes their immunization records, a lead level, and a vision screening. The vision screening should have stereopsis. I also need to know your student has any allergies, any medical concerns. You might think it's something small, but even the smallest medical concern is something that I should know so I can pass it on to their teachers and that everyone is aware to keep everyone safe while they're here. If your child has any medications, I need an order from the doctor that has to be dated after June 30th. So July 1st and on will be acceptable, and then from there, you as the parent or guardian will fill out an authorization to administer the medication, and even if it's an inhaler, that falls under that category. We will then fill out a care plan where we can add a picture of your child, where you can email me the picture and I can print it, or I can take it here, print it, and then delete the picture after. And you have to bring in the medications. Please do not put any medications in your student's backpack. It's just not safe for the bus, and they're just so little they shouldn't be handling. Protocol in regards to being sick, whether it is a fever, vomiting, or diarrhea, your student has to be 24 hours free of any symptoms without medication. In regards to antibiotics, it's 24 hours after the diagnosis and starting the medication. That's another thing that is a good thing to share with me, so that if a kid comes down, which I've had many this year with earaches, and then when I call home, oh, they saw the doctor yesterday, they're on antibiotic for an ear infection. And that's okay, but it's a good thing for me to know. As far as snacks, we do encourage healthy snacks. We do not share food here, and we are a peanut aware school. That being said, if your child does have an allergy, we take care of that as well. If your child is sick, we have a safe to school number right there on the board, and you can call that any time of day because it goes right to voicemail, and I will take that message and then I'll let the teachers know and put it in our computer system why they're up.
If you don't report your child's absence, you will get an auto call from the nurse saying your child was absent today, and then they say, oh, I forgot to call. So you can call anytime there. While we have Nurse Weymouth here, are there any nurse-related questions that we want to ask her here before she leaves?
I know you said you'll take care of the cleanup over at the house, like parking lots, doing like
So that's a good question too. Okay. So in our lunchroom, we have a peanut-free table, and they're allowed to choose a buddy who is hot lunch. So our school does not serve any nuts, peanuts, tree nuts. So any of our hot lunches are safe lunches to eat with them, so they never be sitting alone. Usually it's multiple students who have that allergy. In the classroom, same thing. We don't share snacks, but if there is a student in the class with a nut allergy, we send home a letter just asking to not send in nuts or peanuts for snack time, but they can have it at lunch because they wouldn't be sitting together.
Any other questions for me?
With the 5-year physical, so we have a late August birthday.
Yep.
If the physical's after the school year starts, is that okay, or?
That's something that you can contact me on.
Okay.
And we can work it out. I would suggest, because of the kindergarten meeting in June,
Yeah.
bring the most current physical, and then we can go from there.
Okay.
Okay?
Kelly, I'm gonna jump in really quick.
Yeah.
Going back to the 24 hours, like fever-free, vomit-free, this sounds silly, but the kids will come in and tell us. They will come right in and say, I threw up in my bed last night. And I'm like, oh goodness. So we truly appreciate, I know Nurse Kelly truly appreciates, if they're not feeling themselves, please keep them home. We do our best to make sure we're encouraging hand washing and all of that at all times. But you know your child best at the end of the day. If they're not feeling themselves, please just play it safe and keep them home and prevent them spreading those lovely germs. And we'll happily welcome them back when they're feeling better. But they do come right off the bus and say, my mom, gave me pain medicine this morning or something. But
And then we'll call
use
you,
your best
and
judgment.
we'll have to pick them up.
Any other nurse questions?
All right. Hi, I'm Julie Radley. I'm one of the kindergarten teachers here. Happy to see everybody. I just want to, before I get started on arrival, I'm going to cover arrival and dismissal here at MECC. But just to go back to the slideshow and talk about the kind of environment that it is here really quickly. This is like literally one of my favorite places to be in the whole world. And not just because I work here. Both of my live in Middleborough. I've lived here for, oh my gosh, about 18 years now. Both of my kids came to this kindergarten and have gone through the Middleborough public school system. They're amazing teachers, Miss Carly Paling. And this really is a magical place. And we feel all the feels with you. Like, I remember what it was like sending my kids to kindergarten. One of them's going to high school next year, and one's getting ready to go to college. So it's crazy, but we know, we understand. It's a very bittersweet kind of moment for you guys, and we appreciate all that you're going through, and you guys partnering with us to help them grow and learn. It's awesome. The growth in kindergarten is amazing. But on to arrival. So all the kids get the bus tag, which you saw in the video. There's the green bus tag. It will go on the top kind of hook or loop, thank you, of their backpacks. And that just helps all the staff be aware of how they're coming in the morning and how they are to get out, because it is our priority, our number one priority, to keep them safe and make sure they get back to you at the end of the day. So they always have something with them that tells the staff where they need to be, what bus they need to be on, whether they're getting picked up, whether they're at Champions or the YMCA, whatever it is. It's color coordinated by floor. I don't think I realized that. So we have green, and I guess upstairs.
We have blue.
And they have blue. Okay, excellent. So there are different, even different colors based on the floor they're on, which makes it even easier. You will get those the first day that you come in, so the orientation day, when you come in with your student to visit their classroom, you will get them that, and your teacher will go over their dismissal, their arrival and dismissal procedure with you. We'll fill that out together so it has accurate information on it, and we can keep track of that. So arrival in the morning begins at 8:30. So the buses, every single bus in the district does drop off here at MECC. Some of them start here at MECC, and some of them start over at the complex. So you might have students getting here right at 8:30. And then the buses that come here first will then go over to MKG and HBB, or the bus might start at HBB and MKG and drop them off, and then come over here and drop off the kids at MECC. But that generally goes from like 8:30 to 9, maybe a couple minutes after 9. The buses all drop off in the front of the school, and then the parent drop off, if you are driving your child to school, happens in the back of the school. And we saw a little bit about that on the video as well. So that's a rolling drop off. Parents all stay in their cars. It's helpful if you have your student on the right-hand side or the passenger side of the vehicle, so you can just pull right up. There are staff members out there to assist your child out of the vehicle, get on their backpack, and get them into the door. We try 8:55. The bell goes off at 8:55 for instruction to begin. We usually still have some stragglers having breakfast and coming in at that point, so probably like 9:05 really is when instruction really begins. And we generally start, most teachers start with morning meeting or something, yeah. So all students enter the building. We have staff positioned all over the place throughout the hallways. Teachers are in their classrooms waiting for the kids to arrive, but ESPs are at various checkpoints getting kids either to breakfast or to their classroom. All students are greeted at the door by their teachers, that's okay. And then dismissal. Dismissal is the biggie. So it's super important, like I said before, for us to get them home to you guys. So we need to know what their routines are. We know that families are busy and you guys have different routines. They may have to go different places, different days of the week, and we understand that. We ask that you do try to keep your routine as regular as possible. You know, if every Monday they have to go somewhere, fine. Tuesday they're going somewhere else. Wednesday there's an after-school program, whatever. But just if every week it could be the same routine, it's helpful. And we understand there are going to be changes here and there. So we start dismissal 3 o'clock. So students are taken out they're taken down either to the gym area, which is in the back of the school, by the tennis courts and Pierce Playground. So that's where parent pickup will occur. Or if they are getting on the buses to go home, then they'll stay with the classroom teacher, and every classroom teacher brings their class out to the buses that are in the front of the building. So there are 4 buses that we have come here to pick up in the afternoon. 2 are for HBB and 2 are for MKG, depending upon what side of town you live on. So the kids will get on those buses, they will head over to the complex, and from there they will transfer onto their buses that will take them home. It sounds complicated. It sounds a little worrisome. I remember being there. We haven't lost a child yet. It is, we are a very well-oiled machine. And like I said, everyone's got their tags on the back. There's a lot of staff over there watching them and helping them and making sure they get onto the correct buses. Parent pickup, to go back to that, is located behind the school. There is not a lot of parking back there. Parking in general around this building is minimal. So we do encourage you to have your child use the bus if possible. We understand that some people are going to need to pick up. But just be aware that there is not a lot of parking, and that tends to be very congested and kind of difficult to get in and out of. Identification is needed, and your name or whoever is picking up, it's important that you have everybody's name listed on the registration form. So the first day, along with the bus tag, you guys will get information in a folder. There will be a form for you to fill out. If there is any chance that anyone else in your family is going to be picking up your child at any time, list their name there. And that way you're all set and you don't have to call and make sure that so-and-so's on the list, and just as long as they have their photo ID, you should be all set. And just, if there are any changes to a student's dismissal routine, we ask that you just let the teacher know, send a note in the red folder. There'll be red folders that go back and forth every day. So if you can just keep us updated with any changes, that is super helpful.
If there's, an emergency change later in the day, just call the front office and they'll call the teacher, make sure that we get them to the right place. We try to have we understand emergencies happen, but any change that you're going to make, if you try to make it by 2:30 so it doesn't start interfering with our dismissal.
Just one more thing quickly. If you need after school or before school care, we do have the Champions program that is located in this building. They did not have a table set up on your way in, but they are. I did see them set up since you guys have been in there. So if you are interested in that, if you think you need somebody to look out for the kids for a little while after school until you get home from work, they're out there. The YMCA does also have a program, and they do have a bus that picks up here in the afternoon as well. But those are options if you'd like to explore them. That's it. Thanks for being here. Oh, no, sorry, I'm not done. Okay, transportation. So this is the bus company. We use 5-Star. There is the manager's name and phone number. Oh, that's right, the bus routes are available usually later in August. They do publish them in the newspaper, but we'll also have them available on the Middleborough Public Schools website. And then if you live within a mile of the school, then you are a walker. Put your running shoes on. Flash pickup. No bus for you. And then the minibuses, if your child is on a minibus, that's a separate contact that's actually run through the Middleborough Public Schools, and Joan Hall has her number up there. Now, I'm really done. Oh, do we have any bus questions? Drop-off, arrival questions? Yeah.
So I thought previously, I know a few kids who, I live like at 1 mile exactly, and I know a few kids who are closer who had a bus for kindergarten and then lost it when they went over to elementary school. So that's not a thing anymore, like kindergarten was not counting through that bus.
Yeah, I would check, you can check bus routes now and find your street.
Okay.
And it'll show if they have a bus or not. If not, you can always call, if you need me to go back, I can for the number. Bus information is on the website, like this, and remember this whole slideshow and presentation will be posted on the website.
Okay.
I know there were some shifts made as well. We haven't worked with this bus company for a super long time, so that may have been something that shifted depending on the bus company. Can I stand up, Julie Beth? So call that bus company, but I just had somebody recently ask me the same thing. Any other bus questions? Yes.
So my daughter was offered a special ed bus, a mini bus, and I didn't take her, I grabbed her to the integrated preschool program. Is that an option for kindergarten, or does that depend on the teacher's recommendations for her?
It would be in their IEP.
Okay.
So I would check maybe with the current teacher to see if that's something they recommend going forward.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Carly Paling. I'm one of the kindergarten teachers here at MECC. I'm Christina Stoker, also kindergarten teacher at MECC. Just quickly, by a show of hands, do we have any first-time kindergarten parents joining us? Lots of you. Well, welcome. We're excited that you're here. How about recurring families? We're excited to welcome you and your children back. Shout out to the Norrishes. So just to kind of reiterate what Mrs. Bradley had said, I piggyback fully when she said that MECC is one of her favorite places to be. This is truly a magical little school, and I say that completely biased because I have lived and breathed here for 14 years, but you hear it all the time just in the community, and it is not an exaggeration by any means. We work with the youngest population of students in the district. These kids come in sometimes with zero prior school experience at all. They don't know how to walk in a line or take off their backpack. They're unsure of how to look a friend in the eye and ask to share for a toy. And the growth that occurs between the months of September and June is unlike anything you can truly imagine. I mean, we meet your kiddos where they're at, but they will leave reading and writing and scientists and mathematicians and inquirers and more. And that all happens because of what happens here, but it also is in collaboration with you guys at home. So we just thank you in advance for sharing your children with us. It's not a job that I can speak on behalf of the entire K team. Any of us take lightly. You know, in August we receive our class list of names, and it's a list, it's a roster of names. And by now we're in April, all those names are little tiny pieces of our heart. We don't take this job lightly. We are so excited to welcome you and your children to MECC in the fall, and we can't wait for their kindergarten journey. So we hope that you're excited too. We hope that we're able to ease some anxieties you might have tonight, and that's our goal.
Carly Pelly basically said it all, but you know, you don't get 11 kindergarten classrooms in many districts, so it really is a magical place. We get to learn from each other. The kids get to see everyone in kindergarten. They just grow, like Carly said, from September till June, and it truly is magical. And you know, we're here throughout the year to help you guys and help with the anxiety and questions. But like Carly said too, it's a teamwork. Like it takes a village, but we work together, and it's always magical. It's a great place to be.
It is. I mean, there's literally 300 5-year-olds under one roof, so it makes for an interesting day. You can't have a bad day, that's for sure. So Christina and I are going to kind of run through some of the boring kindergarten stuff with you. This is just a snapshot of our curriculum, and I want to assure you that while academics are, of course, important, and your children are going to learn a lot of academics, they're going to get a lot of this when they come here, but more importantly, and before that, they're going to learn how to be in this place called school. Whether they've been to preschool or not, our biggest job is to ensure that they are ready for school, they learn how to be in this environment, and that they love coming here, right? They're going to be in school the next 13, maybe more years, whether they like it or not. So our main goal, I think I can speak on behalf of everybody, is to ensure that they love coming to this place called school. So we spend a lot of time at the beginning of the year just learning each other, learning routines, learning rituals, getting to, you know, look each other in the eye, discover what we like, what we don't like, how we're similar, how we're different. That's the main purpose at the beginning of the year. And we do all of that so that we can get to this. So for our English language arts curriculum, our main phonics program is called You Fly. The kids will learn how to read, they'll learn how to decode words, they'll learn how to write sentences, they'll be reading books and paragraphs, and it's pretty impressive. That happens every single day in kindergarten. Phonemic awareness is all oral language. It's manipulating sounds and parts of words and things that we hear when we're reading or speaking. Readers and Writers Workshop occurs daily in kindergarten classrooms. So the workshop model is something called gradual release of responsibility. So you saw a little bit of that in the video, but basically it's called the I do, we do, you do model. So we'll do a lot of explicit instruction. The kids will watch their teacher do something, really explicitly showing them step by step what to do. They'll work together with their teacher to venture out into small groups and work with their peers and work alongside somebody to try it out. And then they're doing it all on their own. So we're kind of gradually releasing them as they're ready to do so. And that's all based on your child's individual needs. We'll group them with kiddos who are working on similar skills. Lots of center time takes place during Readers and Writers Workshop. You can walk into a kindergarten classroom and see a group of students working on reading the room, and then somebody else is in the library, and then there's a small group at the teacher table. So that's a really, really big part of our academic day. Sentence a Day is a program that we're going to be fully adopting next year. The kids learn a lot about writing and composing sentences and the phonetics of writing, if I'm correct. Right?
Yeah, so they learn, it's more about like how to compose a sentence, and it's nice and quick. I'm piloting it this year with Julie Bradley. The kids love it. They draw pictures, they learn like a sentence has to have a person, it has to have something they're doing. So, you know, we don't expect them to be masters that they master what a subject and predicate is at 5 years old, but they do hear it and they're exposed to it, and then, you know, we see it carry over into writer's workshop where they're writing sentences with, you know, I ate, and that's a great sentence for a 5-year-old. So it's just a new program, but the kids are enjoying it, and it's a nice, quick sentence a day that they'll go home with.
It's going to pair, I'm not one of the teachers piloting it, but from what I get to hear from my colleagues, it'll pair really nicely with our writer's workshop model too, because that's where the kids get a lot of that choice piece, and they get to choose what they're writing about and drawing about. And to hear a 5-year-old say, well, I'm the author of this book, so I get to decide what the title is pretty empowering. So we also are lucky, you saw a picture of Miss Liz Gunnison. She is our interventionist. Here she is, the lovely Mrs. Gunnison. She offers support in reading and writing and phonics for students who need it, and she's amazing. She grows the kids that you send to her come back reading and writing way better than you could imagine. So she's wonderful. We're so lucky to have her here.
So for math is another one where we kind of work our way up to. You know, they come in and some know numbers, some don't, but we start with shapes and 2D shapes, circles, things that they can be familiar with, and then we work our way up. You know, now we're in team numbers, but it's a gradual process, and we use the Envisions program, and we have made a homegrown math program where it kind of reflects the Envisions program, but it's more catered to our students' needs based on previous years. Yeah, and it's very hands-on. We also use a guided math workshop, which is similar to the reading and writing workshop, where we, you know, I do, we do, you do. So they watch the teacher do the lesson, we do the lesson together, and then they go off and do it in small groups or independently. And the kids, again, enjoy math. You know, it's a time where Ms. Carly said we really try to get them to like school. So these math centers are fun, they're engaging. We use different manipulatives. It's very hands-on, but they grow a lot through math. Yeah.
We sprinkle it throughout the day too. It's like not often you find just one math block and that's the only time. I mean, we're talking about numbers, we're counting as we line up, we're counting by tens down the hall, or counting the days of the week in morning meeting, things like that. It's happening throughout the day. Science, we have lots of hands-on related materials and tons of science resources. We get a lot of our science topics, well, it's based on state standards, but we use a lot of like interactive read-alouds, things like that. We do a big unit on the weather in kindergarten. That's a big science topic, so like we'll bring the kids outside and immerse them in the weather. They love science, they love making a mess, as I'm sure that you know better than I. But it's all inquiry-based, like kids learn how to ask questions, they learn how to make predictions, they learn how to test theories and things like that, so they always love science. We use lots of videos. We're looking into getting a newer science program next year called Mystery Science, so that'll be fun.
Same with social studies, we follow the state standards. A lot of it is hands-on. We have it's not a program, but Scholastic magazines cover a lot of our social studies standards, where we get to learn about different holidays, you know, like the geography of where we live and what our town looks like, creating maps. All of it is hands-on. The kids enjoy it. It's pretty easy for them. You know, you get to learn about holidays around the world. They get to participate in, like, we do a whole school holiday around the world, where they go to different classrooms, and each classroom's a different holiday. They get a suitcase, and they learn about Hanukkah and Christmas and Kwanzaa, just all different holidays. But, you know, our social studies is hands-on, engaging, and the kids seem to like it as well.
I brought my friends out for extra recess the other day and ran into Mrs. Bradley's class, who was covering a social studies standard, but they were on a treasure hunt and they had designed this map and they were looking for this treasure with the map, and I said, nice job, Mrs. Bradley, you're checking that standard off. We're really lucky where we're physically located too. We're kind of in downtown Middleborough, so we get to do a lot of walking field trips and things like that, where we get to go out and explore the town. We've gone to the fire station, the public library, we've gone to the town hall before, the post office, so that's a neat aspect to our social studies standards.
For lunch and recess, so they'll eat lunch every day in the cafeteria. The director of food services is Rebecca Bagnell. We have our head cook, Diana Caswell. During lunch, the students will get a PIN, 4 digits, that they'll memorize. Will come with time, but they'll type that PIN in and that will identify them. They either get a school lunch, which is hot lunch, or home lunch. We do try to ask that as they come in to the classroom, they know if they're getting hot lunch or home lunch. That way, we can put the counts in and it's not lunchtime and they're like, oh, I thought I got a home lunch and now they have a hot lunch. Obviously, that comes with time as well. And if they think they have a home lunch, it's not a big deal. They can still get a hot lunch. But we just try to separate those in the morning so it's easier for all involved. Lunch is 30 minutes long, and they'll sit at their tables with their classroom. And the ESP or paraprofessional is always in the lunchroom with them. And it's about 5, 6 classes. And all the ESPs are there. We have lunch and recess monitors, more so recess monitors where they go up to recess with them. But it's very supervised. It gets loud, so we really work on keeping those volumes down, which we have a system for that will get there. Focused on eating. We do want them to eat. That's another thing I always tell the parents in my class. Like, if you notice that they're bringing school lunch or home lunch and they're coming home with a full lunch, I'm not at lunch with them, so let us know. We want them to eat at lunch and not just socialize. Where recess is the time that they can socialize. And recess is about 25 minutes long. Either their teachers or ESPs are out there with them. We alternate between the playground and the tennis courts, and it's really a time that they can get their energy out. They have a lot of fun. If you ever drive by, you hear screaming and yelling, and they're just running, but they love recess, and it's, again, enclosed and gets all their energy out.
So in addition to their full day in the classroom, every kindergarten student has the opportunity to go to a different specialist every single day. At MECC we have PE, art, music, computer lab, and library, so we'll go to all 5 each week. Those periods are 45 minutes long. The kids love this time of day. These are our 3 wonderful unified arts teachers. Miss W is the art teacher, Mrs. Iveson teaches music and computers, and Miss Florio is our library and PE teacher. Before we talk to you about PBIS, is there any curriculum-related questions or anything? I know we threw a lot at you. Yes?
Do you want a 5-day schedule or a 6-day schedule?
So we're a little different than the other schools, but a 5-day schedule, yeah. Yep. So 5 days, they'll rotate those unified arts throughout the 5 days in the week. If we ever don't have school on a Monday or something for a holiday, they'll just skip that specialist and go to it the following week. With that said, I know that looks like a lot. Kindergarten has certainly changed over the years. The demands and the curriculum that is being put on these kids seems to grow a little bit each year. Rest assured that as those demands are rising, the kids are rising right along with it. They really are. It is impressive what they can do. And again, I speak behalf on the whole K team. We really try our best to make sure that while they're getting all those academic curriculum demands, they're doing it in a meaningful, hands-on, fun 5- and 6-year-old way.
So this is PBIS, which is our positive behavior intervention system. And this is something we came up with that fits our school and our students. So in the beginning of the year, the students are introduced to school-wide expectations for the playground, for the lunchroom, for bathrooms, just any hallways, any general areas that the students will be in. And a video is shown, so they do a little travel where they learn about recess, they learn about the cafeteria, they learn about the hallways and dismissal. And it's a video shown to them, but it's also shown throughout the school year as well. So when we come back from Christmas break, when we come back from February break, just kind of reintroducing it as your classroom sees fit or just as a school guideline. So these are the posters that you kind of see, but they're through throughout their schools showing voice levels and expectations. So, you know, when our students see this, they know it's level 0 voices and that their voices are off. We have a whisper voice, which is level 1, a level 2 voice, which is an indoor voice, and then we have level 3, which is outside. And these posters are throughout the school. They're in the hallways, they're in the bathrooms, they're wherever the general population would be. We also have a reward system that is in each classroom. So we get these little pom-pom jars, and as your class, you know, if they're quiet in the hall and the teacher compliments them, oh, your class gets a pom-pom. Or someone comes into the room and they were all sitting on the rug, everyone, you get a pom-pom. And as we fill those jars, you then, like our class voted for a pajama party or extra recess or whatever. Most teachers vote on it, some teachers might choose, but they like to, you know, it's exciting to put a pom-pom in, they see the jar get filled and then they're, you know, voting on rewards. It motivates them, but also, you know, you see those behaviors change as they're looking for pom-poms.
The wheel that you see here too, that's in our cafeteria, so kids can earn bees. They can fill their beehive in the cafeteria. That's always really exciting because then they get to spin that prize wheel. I just learned today that we earned a dance party, so I have to find my dancing shoes next week. And then there's trophies too that they get on top of their tables, and they think this is like the best thing. This is great for families to know because use this at home. Use the same language, you know, kids can earn pom-poms on the bus. They can earn, you know, it's really like, it's a collaboration, but it's at our discretion, you know. If I know a kiddo is really struggling to get on the bus in the morning, I can say, hey, mom told me you got right on this morning, put a pom-pom in the jar. As much consistency as we can have here and at home with this, the better it'll be for everybody. Our motto at MECC also, we're in the process of rebranding. Your kiddo's going to get to be a MECC B. Our motto is be safe, be kind, be ready. And kind of all we do throughout the year focuses around that motto. So these are some kindergarten transition events that are coming up. Kindergarten screenings will take place between June 2nd and June 6th. Placement letters, where your child is placed, which classroom, will be sent home. You'll get that in the mail in August. We also have a kindergarten social event at Camp MECC, tentatively scheduled, or we're in the books now for August 12th. That's always a lot of fun. There's usually a bus there. There's different activities for them to do at Camp MECC. And then kindergarten orientation, Mrs. Bradley talked to you a little bit about, but that happens right before the first day of school. The day before your child will start kindergarten, they'll get to come here for an hour, see their classroom, meet their teacher. You'll get all the specific information from your child's classroom teacher. Kindergarten screening, again, June 2nd to June 6th. So you will receive a link from Sign Up Genius to schedule a screening date and time. This takes place here in our MECC gym. The kiddos will come in, they'll meet one of our teachers, and they'll be asked to complete some simple tasks. We always stress the importance as much as we can. It is so important that your child is screened. This helps us when we're creating class lists, make sure that your child is placed in the very best environment for them. It's so helpful to us to have some information. We know what your child is able to do. It's definitely not something that you need to coach them for or anything like that. You know, sometimes you'll have a kid come in and they're like, 2 + 2 is 4. Well, thanks for telling me, but it's a time for us to get to chat with them a little bit. We ask them to do a couple of things, and then we can use that information to make sure that they end up exactly where they need to be in September. And then while they're working with the teacher, you will fill out a short questionnaire to let us know some additional information that we might not get to see during the screening. Kiddos who are currently enrolled in the MECC pre-K, you don't have to schedule a screening. That will take place while your child is already here at pre-K. We'll go down and grab them for a few minutes, so you don't have to worry about that. But the questionnaire you will receive to fill out. At some point, we'll make sure you get that. But if your child isn't currently in pre-K, please sign them up for a screening. It is so helpful, mostly to your child and also to us. Another transitional event, this is something called Intro to K, Kickoff to Kindergarten. This is a summer camp type program that takes place here at the MECC. This is going to be our 4th summer doing this. It started off as a very small, I think we had like 9 kids our first summer where we tried to do it, and we've been able to grow it a little bit each year. So kiddos have the chance to become acquainted with the MECC. It's just a week long, so it's typically Monday through Thursday, and there's going to be a morning session offered this year and an afternoon session. We're going to see how much of it we can fill. So stand by on what time slot you get. The tentative dates are up there, but we've gotten really, really great feedback the past few years from this. The kiddos get a glimpse of what to expect in kindergarten. They get to meet other kids that are coming to kindergarten, meet some new friends. They get to meet some of the kindergarten teachers that they might have in the fall. They get to see the building. We go to the cafeteria. We play on the playground. They get to be in a real kindergarten classroom. We expose them to just some basic skills that they can expect at the beginning of the year, sitting on a rug, hearing a story, doing a morning meeting, opening a glue stick, things like that. It helps build excitement for K. We've gotten great feedback from parents that it's helped ease parent anxiety about drop-off or just if their child will separate from them. So if this is something at all that works with your schedule, please, please, please take advantage. More information will be coming out on that as far as emails and flyers and pre-K folders and things like that. But if you have any availability this summer, we would love to kick off kindergarten with your kiddo. Any questions?
We are very fortunate to have our entire PTA board with us tonight. So they're going to come up and tell you a little bit about our PTA and our partnership.
Hi, my name is Trevor Gonzalez. I'm the current PTA president at MECC. I have Kelly Booth, our VP, Sean Joyce, our secretary, and Carly Cullen, our treasurer. This is our first year we've had a full board since before COVID, so it's pretty cool to see the parent participation. Just to echo what some of the teachers said, MECC is magic. Believe the hype, it's true. I sent my first kiddo to MECC September 2021 with a face mask, terrified. I didn't know what to expect. And I thought, what can we do? So I got involved. What's PTA? I'll sign up for it. So PTA is a group of families, teachers, administrators, community and business leaders who are dedicated to just enriching the educational experience for all the children within the school. What's the time commitment? It's what you make it. So it's the $7 you pay for the whole year. At the very least, you're just signing up to be on our email list. We send out notes. You can just read them. You have littles at home. I get it. Read it. Stay up to date. You can sign up to volunteer, share some of our events, or even become an officer, like our friends up here. We elect new officers every year, so if you're interested in that, come see us. We'll be outside. We fundraise. PTA is not all make sales. I've never done a make sale. So that is not what it is. We have 2 pretty big fundraisers each year. They're inclusive to all students. The kids aren't really aware who's raising what. It's more on the outside, like the parents that are doing that. They're all just participating in some fun events and raising money. But where does the money go? So it goes to field trips, enrichments, like the Bubble Man is coming. We just had Joe's Crazy Critters. If you're part of our pre-K program, we just had Barn Babies visit. PTA funds all of that. Family events that we try to keep free for all families. 3 of us have kindergartners coming next year, so you will see our faces. Again, I'm sure. There's a QR code to our Facebook if you want to follow us. If you have any questions, reach out. And please stop by the table. We have fun bracelets for your kids because they didn't get to come tonight. So you can bring home a little gift from their new school. You guys want to see anything? Yeah? Any questions? You can come see us outside and reach out anytime.
So we are very thankful for our PTA. There is one meeting a month for PTA that takes place here at the school, and because this school is typically a 1-year school, we have a lot of turnover, and so we're just very fortunate for all our families who get involved. We're fortunate to have multiple years with some of our PTA members. Okay, so some upcoming events
and information. The school calendar for next year is already posted on the Middleborough Public Schools District website. When you go to the main page, it says 25-26 school year, so that way you can already start planning your vacations and days off. We do have several early release days throughout the year. You will know those ahead of time, but they are all posted on the calendar too. On those days, school is dismissed at 12:45. Placement email, we did mention this already, to find out who your child's teacher is going to be. That comes out in mid-August. You will be getting a letter in the mail. And then shortly after that, you will be getting some type of communication from your child's teacher, usually a welcome letter or email. Dismissal forms, we ask that you will return those before the first day of school. Those are given to you in your packets at screening or on the orientation day. And it is very important that we know how your child is getting home on that first day of school. Our admin assistants in the office work so hard to prepare all of those lists and our bus lists and make sure all the tags are correct and everything. The bus routes, again, are posted in the middle of August on our district website. Our kindergarten orientation that we mentioned is going to be Tuesday, September 2nd. That's when you will get your bus tags. The bus company will be here on that day, so you can ask any questions to the bus company. And the schedule will be announced once you get that letter that states who your child's teacher is. It'll also say what time you come for the orientation. And our very first full day of kindergarten is Wednesday, September 3rd. And here are just some important contacts. There is my email at the top. Melissa Deutschman, our special ed coordinator, there is her email. Mrs. Jennifer Joyce, she is in the front office, does amazing work, will answer so many questions you have. I just want to say, if you want to volunteer at any point throughout the year, being on the PTA, you have the opportunity to be part of a lot of our special events. You do need a query on file. So do that sooner than later. You just have to go to the front office, provide a copy of your license, fill that out, and that is good for 3 years. So when your students go on to the next school, you'll be all set for a few years. If you have already filled one out in district for an older student, as long as it's within 3 years, you should be all set. And then the last email there is Mrs. Kelly Weymouth, who is our school nurse. So, are you ready for kindergarten? At the bottom of this, there is a link. Once this gets posted on our website, there's some helpful tips for kindergarten readiness that was put together by our preschool teacher, Ms. Patty Griffio. Just some really helpful things like zipping a coat and opening snacks and things like that. So we know that we have thrown a lot of information at you tonight. Hopefully you found it helpful. Hopefully it eased some of your worries. But we are all here to answer any questions that you may have. And if you think of something afterwards, you can go on the website too and get my email and send me an email. Any questions? No? Thank you so much for coming. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I have 2 questions on behalf of my kindergartner, who was very sad to come tonight. So one of them is, when did you guys go outside when it's snowing?
So, not typically. We do have indoor recess in inclement weather. If the temperature drops below a certain wind chill, I think it's like 23 degrees. So sometimes the temperature is higher, but the wind chill makes it really cold. Many of our students don't always wear, the right layers and have the right gloves and hats and things like that. If the playgrounds are covered with snow, you won't go outside. So you don't need to send them in with snowsuits or anything like that. And of course, if it's raining, we'll have indoor recess.
And then the other one he wondered about is, he was like, do I get to come to the next night? And I was like, I don't know when that is. Is the next time we come, is the screening with our kids?
So yes, so please bring your student with you to the screening. We have had families who come to the screening without their child. So please bring your student to the kindergarten screening, and then we will have that welcome to K
Well, I live basically across the street, but my mother-in-law would be taking my daughter, and she lives farther away. Can she get dismissed on a bus still?
So she's going to be going to your mother-in-law's house every day after
Yeah.
school? So yes, you can put, if she's in town, you can just put that as the address, like use that for the bus that she'll be going to. It'll just be like as if they were going to a different daycare or something.
Okay.
So as long as they know where they're going.
Okay. Thank you.
Give you the right bus number.
Yeah, thank you.
Hold on 1 second. I'm just going to take you some of that.
Hi, sorry. My daughter has an asthma action plan, and I'm wondering, like, lunch, recess, even like in the computer lab, the teacher's gonna have like go over that because it's very, I don't know. I printed it out. I put it on the website.
Yeah.
I added that extra, but I wanted to go like make sure that everybody has that she's gonna be around because there are signs.
Yes.
She has had an asthma attack at
So,
some point.
so any student that has a care plan, whether it's allergy related, asthma related, all the teachers, like the specialist teachers that they are going through, there is one posted in the cafeteria. It's just in a little folder, and our recess monitors are aware, so everyone gets a copy of that care plan. That way they're aware of, any signs or things like that.
Thank you.
Sorry, you guys mentioned breakfast a bunch of times. Does every kid get breakfast, or does it depend on what time they get there?
Yes, so as far as I know, breakfast and lunch, I think it's been a permanent thing throughout the state.
Right, okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it is going to be free, universal free. So it's a choice. Like we ask them in the morning, did you eat breakfast? So they do have the option to go to breakfast. Some kiddos eat at home and then grab a second breakfast at school too. But the lunch is free also. And the lunch menus, we send home monthly a copy, but they're also posted on the website too. So you'll be able to see, there's always a daily lunch and then there's a weekly alternate. So this week the alternate is cheeseburger. So if they don't like what's served, they can always get that alternate or mac and cheese. Yeah, cheeseburger. Yes, we do have substitute teachers. If you know anyone who wants to substitute, we're always in need of substitute teachers, but we are very fortunate here that we have full-time ESPs in every classroom. So if the classroom teacher is ever out and there is not a substitute, then the ESP would take over, and they're familiar with the routines and the needs and all that. It just helps to have the extra hands.
How many kids are typically in class?
This year, the average is 20, 21. Yeah. So I would say this is like on the higher side. We've had some years with 17, 18. It depends on the enrollment, but I would say 20 is a safe average. Yep.
Bathrooms, are they in each classroom, or do they have to go, if it's an inclusion classroom, are they in the classroom?
So some classrooms have a bathroom in the classroom, but if not, they are close by, and especially at the beginning of the year, they're guided with the ESP or the teacher for frequent bathroom breaks. So they'll have breaks throughout the day.
So I just want to make sure someone's going with her.
Yeah, but we won't go in with them, but we will bring them to the door. Yes, they won't just be sent off.
They'll never either like be denied to use the bathroom or anything like that. Like we do at the beginning, like Mrs. Lord said, we do a lot of like whole group bathroom trips. We teach them where the bathrooms are, how many paper towels we take, like all the things. But we'll get to know your kiddo too, and like we'll know which kiddos might need assistance, like finding the bathroom or getting there.
So she needs help with, what are you saying, like, does she go to the nurse if she needs that type of help, or like?
Yes. Yeah, I was gonna say if it's some type of accommodation, like that might be on our plan. Yeah, so that might be on our plan, and she'd probably go to the nurse for that, but none of these teachers, whatever she's
okay, and just we're working on.
Yes, yep. Yeah. Yep.
I know you guys don't go to the bathroom with them, so like, if they go around there, like there's 3 or 4, 5 of them, what's going on? And then
We have great ears.
So
I was gonna say the poster that you saw with the hallway, the voice level, all those rules, the bathroom is one of our things that we review with them. We'll go and take a small group in the bathroom and show them this is how you flush, this is how you go in the stall and lock it, this is how you wash your hands, you don't get soap everywhere. We how we get paper towels. So we'll go over that, and we'll be standing by the door, and you know, be like, doesn't sound like you're using the bathroom there. So we do monitor it, but we're not following them in.
And we're all pretty good about it. Like, I know the bathroom is like right next to my room, and like, you know, we hear it. And whether it's my kids, Carly's kids, anyone's kids, I'm like, oh, that's not how we have to the bathroom. Or like, I know like I send like my ESP with them, and like they stand not in the bathroom, but like at the bathroom. So you know, if there's yelling, that obviously is not a casual bathroom activity. So yeah, boys and girls. Okay. And was there the classroom ones? Or
So it's a single stall. The classrooms that have a bathroom is just a single stall, so they go in and use it and it locks. Most bus drivers do assign seats. Typically, the kindergarten students are way up front, and then it gradually goes back, you know, first grade, fifth grade, way in the back. We reiterate bus rules with them. We ask that you do the same at home. Most important thing is that they stay sitting down, keep their hands to themselves, and are not using an excessive loud volume, because it's one bus driver who has to focus on the road and safety, so we go over those rules with them. And typically they are with at least one other student. Some buses are a little bit more packed, but typically it's 2 students per seat.
I was just thinking of them like when they're going over to the school, are they gonna get some?
They won't.
It's sitting with them.
No. So it kind of goes in order. So kindergarten, and then first, and second.
Walkers for drop off and pick up. They just like get in the line of the cars that are dropping off and picking up.
So it says walker, but we don't expect you to walk to school. I mean, unless you like the exercise or the fresh air, but
You live pretty close. We walk over here all the time.
Okay.
Like, so if we walk from, like, would I just get in line with the cars?
No, so if you're walking to school and you're dropping off, we have some families who just walk along our walkway in front, and you'll see all the teachers out front getting the kids off the buses, and then they just go, and they'll go on the side door with the bus students.
You might have already mentioned this, but so in the drop-off in the morning, do they switch buses anymore, or do all the buses come here after they drop off at elementary?
So the buses that drop off in the morning, some stop at the elementary school first, and some that arrive between 8:30 and 8:40, we are their first stop. So it's a little bit a mixture of both, but there are not any transfer buses in the morning. Their bus that picks them up at home is the one that drops them off at the school. The transfer bus, we've been trying to eliminate that, but it's because of the timing with high school, middle school, and there just isn't enough time for them to pick up all the kindergartners and then make it over. But it's a very smooth, well monitored event in the afternoon to get them on their transfer bus. And you'll see so many kiddos in September, that's not my bus, that's not my bus. And like, great job, they're on your bus, don't worry, this one's gonna get you to your right bus, it's gonna get you where you need to go. So, and that's where the bus tags come into play, and we're constantly checking those and making sure they get. Yep. That's okay, don't apologize.
Do you guys still have bus monitors? Do you do that?
There are not bus monitors.
Okay.
Something somebody else asked, but active threat, you guys have procedures in place?
We do. We have emergency binders. All teachers have binders with all our protocols. We review those all the time, not just for that, but emergencies. I mean, there's things even there as like bomb threats, and there's procedures laid out and outlined for all of that. And I believe that whole, I don't know if the procedures are outlined online. I was gonna say, go ahead, did you want to speak to
I
that?
don't think they are, but just to jump in, this is like my least favorite part of this job, right? Like, it is unlike anything you can imagine to sit on the road with 25-year-olds and explain to them how we're going to work together and what we're going to do if a dangerous something comes into our building. With that said, it is one of the pieces in this district that I personally feel most confident in, because the district has prepared us well, in my opinion. they know what they're going to do in the event that something happens. It's an ongoing, regular conversation. Again, it's done in an appropriate way. We teach them ways that the biggest overarching theme that we teach them is you listen to the grown-up that you're with. You listen to the grown-up that you're with. If Ms. Paling says, okay, we're all going to pick up a block and throw it at the dangerous something that comes into our room, that's what we're going to do. If Ms. Paling says, if you can get out to the field safely, that's what you're going to do. If Ms. Paling says, we're going to actually go out this door right now, even if it sounds silly, you listen to your teacher. And we kind of like drill that in them from the beginning, but it's not a comfortable topic. It's something that I think about personally every single day because this is what we live, sadly. But I would not stand here and tell you that it's something that I don't feel confident in because the district, we really, in my opinion, do a nice job of reviewing it again and again and again as staff and with the kids.
And they'll practice different things, like we practice fire drills, we practice what's called a stay put, where they just stay in their rooms and the door stays closed. But we always do it in a kindergarten-friendly way. And if we practice one of those drills, we'll send notification home to you. Your child might come home and say that they practice to stay put, and here's what they do. And they'll go home and they'll tell you all about it. But our number one priority that we've said several times tonight is safety. Safety of the students and of the building.
One more thing on that too, Tracy, sorry. We have what's called a DIRT team, like District Emergency Response Team, and then we have a BERT team, Building Emergency Response Team. I know. But all of those team members are visible at MECC like pretty regularly. We have school resource officers in and out of the building daily. The kids, like they're visible to them. They come for certain drills, like we're getting ready to practice one of those drills in the next coming weeks, so they'll be visible for that. They come from high school, from like this year I had high school admin, PD, fire department, resource officers, like all sorts of people in my room when we did the conversation about school safety and what we would do in the event of a dangerous situation. So if that helps at all, it's kind of all hands on deck and it's something that we don't take lightly. Yeah.
Yes, all doors are locked. And like all staff wear one of these lanyards so they know that any person that belongs in the building is going to have one of these. If you are a volunteer, you're going to get a visitor sticker. You check in at the office, show an ID, make sure that Corey is on file. Our front door has a buzzer. Like we unlocked it tonight for you so that someone wasn't constantly pressing the button. But that remains locked. You have to press the buzzer. We have cameras throughout the building as well, outside and inside. And all the side doors are locked. You can only get in by scanning the badge.
We also, just to add to that, we have really good relationships with the police department, school resource officer, and the fire department. They come for regular friendly events with the kids. They'll come in and read to the kids. So it's not like the only time they're ever seeing the faces of the police and fire are for conversations like that. We really have worked hard to kind of cultivate friendly relationships with them so the kids know that they're safe people.
Squish a pie and police officer.
Squish a pie. Yeah.
Kind of a strange scenario because I think about my daughter's in school now too. But has there ever been like an issue with how the back of your school is like public scenarios? So has there ever been issues with like the public walking around the fields or anything, or like been issues with that within the school?
Not during the school day, no. So the tennis court area, we still refer to it as that. Like years ago, there were actual tennis courts there. Now we have a small playground, but that is not accessible to the public during the school day. Just the Pierce playground is, which is on the other side of that fence. But generally, there aren't any people like walking through the schools, and we do have cameras. We can easily contact the school resource officer if we find someone that seems suspicious or anything like that. Right. If we saw that somebody was outside seeming suspicious, we would not be bringing them out to recess. That would be, we follow our protocols.
Anytime too that your child would like leave campus, you would we walk to the public library or even walk to the
Fire
fire station right next door, they'll never leave MECC without you signing off that they can leave MECC premises.
All right, again, thank you. Oh, I'm just kidding. Good.
Given that there's no bus monitor, how is like monitoring the surveillance, like,
So the buses do have cameras too.
like, what's the scenario? Something happens on the bus, like, how do they do that? The bus driver is focused on the road, they decide on the accident, side seizure, a fight, or whatever happens, like, how's
So,
that?
well, the bus driver would get those care plans too. I think if there was someone with like a major medical concern, they would be seated right up front. And the bus driver has those large mirrors too, but they'd be able to keep an eye on that kiddo. And you could always talk to the bus company too, and just reiterate that, make sure that they have a seat right in front. But just in general, there aren't bus monitors. Thank you for coming. Remember, there is a PTA table outside if you didn't grab anything on the way in, and champions are before and after school programs.